Hi, creative friends. This is Sreya, and thank you so much for being here. So, this is my art journal slash junk journal that is made completely out of brown paper bags, and it's in its very early stages of me putting it together. But this front cover here is about, I want to say, about 60% done. So I'm just going to do a flip through before I show you how I paint over top of my brown paper bags. So as you can see, there's just all sorts of just lines and marks and textures. I've added stencils, my Stabilo pencil, collage. There's some washi tape here. And this is a stencil over here. More washi tape. So this over here is actually a coffee cup holder, and I cut it to size and then I painted over top of it and I hot glued it on top of the head over there. And I just use my Stabilo pencil. I put some paints. I really love the hair. Like, I just love all that variation in the colors. And this piece over here is probably about 75% done, I want to say. So let's just get to me making a figure like so. And I'm going to pick the page I want to work on. And I think I'm going to work on this page over here. And to answer a question um, that I was asked, do I apply gesso on my brown paper bags? And the answer is no, I do not. And generally, I do not add gesso on any of my like my art journals or even my composition lined notebooks. I don't generally add gesso. I have used gesso quite a lot in my earlier artworks. And sometimes what I like to do is to mix some gesso with water and make it really, really runny, and then apply it and then put paints on top of it because it makes a really delicious texture. But I'm gonna, I should probably do a video where I do that. So I have done that, and I do use my gesso in that way. But generally, I don't put gesso on top of the brown paper at all. So I'm gonna just do a quick sketch here, and I'm gonna use my blue Stabilo pencil because I just absolutely love the blue against the brown paper. And I'm just gonna do a sketch. Now, while I don't use gesso, sometimes I do add collage onto the brown paper bag, and then I can work on top of the collage. And I'm just going to make a very quick sketch here. And I love all the puddles and irregularities that can happen. And her hair is probably way too big here, but that's okay. She has big hair. What can I say? And I'm just going to elongate her face a little bit here. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to add my Liquitex ink. And even if you are not drawing or painting a brown-skinned woman, which I'm sure only a small percentage of people watching this video might be doing that, you can still add the brown to the hair because it just creates such luscious variations for the hair. And I'm just going to show you here in this piece that I did. Let me see if I can find it. So as you can see over here, that is all my Liquitex Burnt Sienna, and I just love the way that looks on the hair. So I'm just gonna put that there. in case I need to, show something else. But right now I'm just adding some kind of burnt sienna to the hair and to the face. And I think I might have made her hair like way too big. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't think it's going to work in this particular lady. So I need to kind of like make her hair a little bit smaller here. There, that looks a lot better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my chalk paint. And now the brown paper is a very cheap substrate, and things are going to, it is going to come out on the other side. It's going to bleed onto the backside of the paper, and that's totally fine. I try to incorporate those into my drawings and paintings on the other side. And if I can't, I'll just cover it up with collage or paint. But I really love that, those irregularities that happen. And I know this looks like a big mess. The key to this is that I do have to allow things to dry naturally. So while I didn't want to make this in two parts, I may have to. I'm going to blot some of that. So what I want to do is just kind of like bring some of this chalk paint in cashew, just so I can kind of make the figure stand out. So I want to use some of the brown from the paper for parts of the face and the skin color. Like that is part of the benefits of using the brown paper bag, is that I can use the color to my advantage. And what I want to do is just add some darks to the hair, very sparingly, because I want to let this burnt sienna show through for the hair. And now that turned out gray rather than black. So I'm going to go in here. Now, I totally get that it looks like a big mess here, and that's totally fine. It is going to go through a very messy stage, like most of my pieces do. And in the beginning, I used to look at that as like a negative, but now that I've been doing this for so long, I welcome it, because I don't want things to be static and kind of stiff. So whenever there's a big mess, it's like a really juicy situation, and I try to kind of take advantage of it, because that's where the gold is, where all the mess and kind of juiciness is. I'm sorry, these are not very technical terms, but it describes what I mean. So I'm going to bring in some, I think I'm going to bring in some reds and maybe even a pink. Well, there is red on the page, so I think I'm going to go with a red. And I need to bring in some red into the face here because it's looking too colorless. So I'm trying not to copy this over here, but it's looking very much like that. So I'm going to put this away because I think I'm being too influenced by this and I don't want it to be a replication of that. So I'm going to put that away. And I think what I'm going to do is bring in some collage here to the mix. And I think I'm going to put the collage on the hair like that. I think that's going to be a really interesting kind of addition there. And I want to move this around the page. So I'm going to put a piece over here, even though I'm not working on this page. I want to like keep my eye moving. And this is going to be like on the opposite side. So I'm going to add that. Now, I know this looks like very messy, and you know, that's totally fine. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to welcome it. I'm going to work with it. And I want to bring in some of that gorgeous burnt sienna into the face here. Now, working on brown paper, because it is such a thin substrate, it is going to be, you know, a bit fragile to work on it, especially when you're working in mixed media. And what I try to do is I try to use that to my advantage. And, you know, sometimes you can fortify the page with collage, and sometimes you can allow the rips and tears to work with the whole entire spread. You know, like you can really use it as part of the texture of your painting or whatever you're drawing or painting on top of it. So I really want to bring some of that burnt sienna in there. And I'm going to bring some of the black. just bringing in some color into the face here. And now I'm going to let this completely dry, and then I will come back to it and maybe work on it some more and hopefully be able to finish it up. I'm just going to add a couple of more things here. This is where I get fussy with the figure, and I keep on saying I'm not going to fuss with it, but then I still fuss with it, you know. It's just the way it goes. And I just want some of that delicious brown on the hair. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna let this completely dry and then I will come back and work on it. So if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.